Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Is it Monday? What day is it? Listen. Yeah, it is Monday. I woke up this morning. I've woken up, I feel like 3 or 4 times throughout the night and was really tired and fell back asleep. So that's a good thing. But I woke up this morning and I started thinking about some of the stuff that's going on in our world and some of the things that are just beyond comprehension. And so I wanted to do a video on a little bit of this and a little bit of that with regard to the music industry, or I would say the entertainment industry. And so we're just going to start with a little something from Cat Williams, and we'll go from there. Let's see. I'm going to add. Maybe no, I want to start with this one with exposing Diddy, or the information about Diddy. You can watch the full videos. It's listed in the description if you want.
What was going to happen? That's why I said I'm about to leave. Because I promised my mom I wouldn't be violent no more.
I promised my mom
I'm scared of my mama. So.
Right.
So I ain't about to violate that. But she know what I do. So you know.
Yeah. How did you meet Diddy? And how does a man like you get work for a man like him?
See, that's the thing. I never worked for him. I would be bodyguarding somebody else and end up at some of his parties. They keep lying and say I work for him. I never said I work for him. That's something that these people do.
Yes.
So they got me in a lawsuit right now saying I pointed a gun at Diddy and protected the lady from him. How am I doing that and working for him? It don't make no sense. So like I've been having a lot of attacks, people trying to discredit me, but I got the receipts. And been a lot of punishment going on. No pun intended.
Yes.
No pun intended. Crazy work. So yeah, I knew it was coming. So I was like, pause. I knew that was going to take place. So I was like, I probably should leave. Because it's like my mom told me she wanted me to eventually, settle down, have a family, you know what I'm saying, have some children. It's hard to date in this line of work. I never really had many serious relationships. I only had 5 girlfriends my whole life. I don't have no children. I dedicated my life to my path, and it paid off for me. And I'm not damaged, I'm a gentleman at all times, until it's time, chivalry has not died. So it's just like, I'm gonna keep doing what I do. But when it comes to this, people gotta always pay attention to the underlying facts. Because if Lynn gets caught with several rifles and cocaine and drugs, Lynn's gonna be having to go to jail.
Yes.
How come he not going to jail? How do you pay somebody? Now, see, this is something else. When you as a bodyguard, anytime I have a talent, client, close protection situation, and we go into a hotel, I'm always going to reach out to the head of security of that hotel. And I know you can pay a fee to make sure you get the masters of any videos of your client.
If no one ever taught you how to manage your money, or you're secretly ashamed of where you're at financially, please stick around. This could change everything. Hi, I'm Britt Baker, co-founder of Dow Janes, and I'm here to tell you something that most financial experts never say out loud. Most women were never taught how to manage money.
The guy Diddy only gave us head of security like $25,000 for the video. CNN gave him $600,000. That's why the video came out. Cheap. You got all that money and you ripping people off in their contract. You done got this lady getting when the Punisher would ejaculate, Diddy sitting there next to her getting ejaculated on.
Damn.
That's crazy. And don't nobody see a problem with that. That's EJ. Come on, man. What's going on? So, You see stuff like that, it's like, man, it's time to get out of here, man.
Yeah, but did you see any of that stuff? Did you ever
I
encounter
seen him
firsthand?
holding hands with two vampires.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen the movie Twilight?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like that.
Yeah.
So you see the white boys with the spiked hair looking like they off Twilight?
Yes.
It's about to get real freaky in the party. So I always remember that. So I seen him in a towel holding hands with two of them. When I saw that, I'm like, I'm going to the car, man. So call me if it get crazy. I'll come inside, do what I got to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not sticking around for that. You know, every time you see the dude Diddy, he in a towel. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Why you always half naked?
Yummy.
That's crazy work. He kicking that lady in the head. They was getting ready to throw the case out. But the man Drewski filed a stupid, I'm going to show you, to extend the case. Crazy. I've watched this. Just so you can see. Shout out Ed Zappia, my lawyer. These guys are clowns. Read this right here. So this person, Drew, that's Drewski. Why would he file another motion to extend the case out? So they only doing this because they trying to get me thrown in jail for standing on business.
Why do you think they want you in jail?
Because if I'm in jail, who's combating them? I cause a lot of problems for people. Like, you know, I didn't foil rings. I didn't foil trafficking rings, stuff like that. And I know they try to get me thrown in jail because, you know, I have a history of violence in my past, in my line of work.
Yeah.
And I always get off because it's self-defense. And they got, this is unfortunately, Des Bordes, which is Drewski, motion extended the case rather than dismiss the case back in June before the court decided to proceed to hear it. I'm the only one in this case who have a history of protecting people, especially women. So they trying to get me to look like I was complicit with him when I never was, you know. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
These guys hate me for a reason.
Okay.
So, you know.
Yeah. Can I go back to Diddy?
Sure.
So what kind of man is he? Why do you dislike him this much?
The man is a liar. He's a sexual deviant. And he plays with dark magic. These are facts. And you always see these people who have these meteoric rises. Nobody's backing them. They just like they did it from the ground up. And the trade-off with that is you have to perpetuate darkness. Look at how many people he affected negatively. That was his trade-off to gain what he had. His former bodyguard, Gene Deal, said he seen him doing a ritual where they killed a dove. What is that? And I feel like it's being overlooked because they see him doing the dance moves with the baggy clothes. You know, some of the ladies in his videos were transsexual ladies. You got to really look at what's going on. I've been around him a couple of times. Don't like the guy. And I know a lot of other people who he's done weird things too. And there are several men who have reached out to me telling me that they got their cakes took, basically. They got diddled. I can show you that. Matter of fact, I'll show you this right now. So when you're getting all of these calls about somebody, you're going to grow some disdain for them. Watch this. I got all the receipts because you know how many dudes hit me up, young men, showed up to his studios to get a job, and he convinces them to do something crazy and then don't give them a job. It's not cool. There we go. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
It's a young kid. Said it ruined his life. But this the problem. When you get to the parties, they come out and collect everybody's phone. So now it's just your word against a billionaire. You're gonna lose. Read this right there from that young man, 22 years old, music producer.
I can come tell my story, but it was a deep one. I was homeless at the time, living out of my van. Got spotted, got recruited, got invited, got diddled.
Got diddled.
What's diddled?
Diddled mean he diddled his fingers in his behind.
Diddy.
Yes.
Maybe that's why the name Diddy. Diddled.
No, for real.
Diddled.
Right. So you know.
So he takes advantage of this.
Yeah.
Young
yeah.
man.
You promise a young guy an opportunity. These dudes, the musicians, they used to call it the starving artists.
Yes.
Music don't pay that much, especially when you're on the onset, working your way up. How many other people did this happen to? And men is not going to be as vocal as women. How many other guys got victimized like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, think about that. A predator is a predator, and he's a predator.
Yep.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to show you a way to potentially.
You said in some of the previous interviews you've been poisoned 3 times. Do you think this was by Diddy, or what's the relationship between this and what you know about Diddy?
Well, Kim Porter, his ex-wife, died of pneumonia.
Yep.
His other bodyguard died of pneumonia. At this time, we was having a problem with some Serbian people because I was messing up their business. So it was either them or somebody to do with him. I can't quite figure. That's why, like,
Holding here, geez.
I'm real wary of what I drink. If I'm at a restaurant, I try to order things that I can see them prepare, because
That's so sad.
Being poisoned gives you a feeling of vulnerability that you just can't explain. And imagine being able to see everything, but you can't breathe. And you feel like your body is just burning from the inside.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, like, to this day, I have problems with my sinuses and my breathing, all from this, you know. So I've taken people's livelihood away because they were trafficking people, and that made me a target. So I can't really, and then it be gangster going on that I don't really Just know this: if they played with me, it was belt to ass, and we had several bloody days for sure.
Damn.
We was good at that. If you want to get somebody another way, you got to take different tactics. They definitely took different tactics, because my toxicology report showed cyanide. And the doctor asked me, he said, "You eat cherries?" I said, "No, not really." He said, "Are you sure?" I said, he said, "You got a high concentration, like you've been eating cherry pits. So, you know, if you eat the seed of a cherry, it's got cyanide in it. People don't know that." So that's how I knew. I said, okay, somehow
you had to eat.
Probably at some of them parties while I'm protecting people. You know, sometimes I'll have a drink, champagne, bottle of water. That had to have been how it happened. Somebody definitely was trying to kill me. So, yeah.
That's insane. Why do you keep talking and standing on business, knowing your life could end the next minute?
Because if I don't stand on business, it'll end a lot quicker. You know, if you're being proactive is the best line of defense. And I do this, Lynn. You know, it's fun to me. I was raised like this.
Yeah.
I'm trained in everything dangerous, so it's all good. I knew what I signed up for. Straight like that.
There have been allegations that Diddy messed up Justin Bieber. He poisoned Jamie Foxx. He got Tupac shot you know, he's responsible for Tupac's murder.
He is.
Any truth in that?
The FBI confirmed that already.
Yeah.
It is. That's the truth. Dwayne Keith Davis is in a Las Vegas jail right now because Diddy told them, if y'all kill Tupac, I got $1 million for you. Eric Von Zip stole the money. That's a fact. FBI confirmed that.
Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx said out of his mouth, his partner handed him an Advil and he woke up 22 days later. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And we was at his Netflix screener. He blamed it on Diddy there. Seen it.
Beware of day trading options. It's one of the fastest ways to lose all of your money. This is what some people will keep telling you because they have never traded.
Why is Jamie Foxx having naked basketball games at his house with all men? I'm just trying to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
These things, that's what's taking place. All them dudes is zesty.
Bieber?
The man almost cried in the interview. Now look, I'm gonna show you this. I done seen Bieber several times, and I'll show you. Because like some of my clients will have me take their nephews and all the kids to these concerts. So this is one group right here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
disappeared.
There you go. So that's one group right there.
Yeah.
I would be with them. They come from a well-off, wealthy family, you know.
Yeah.
I would take them and I would see Bieber backstage with these people. And I remember Bieber when he was younger.
Yeah.
He was a lot more vibrant. Now, you see the man almost cry in an interview. Diddy said out of his mouth, Justin Bieber is somewhere right now in the house doing things we can't talk about. And nobody questions it because he's a rapper, I guess. Weirdo to me.
Mm-hmm.
You either a man of honor or you a man that's about nothing. And you can be about nothing and rise to a lot of power, as we can see. But when you live like that, other people can humble you like they're doing him. Only God can humble me. Sure.
So if the FBI confirmed about Tupac, why is Diddy not in jail, you know, as someone, an accessory to this murder?
Like I said, you either got the complexion for the protection or you got the compensation for the protection. Sure.
How much power does Diddy have in Hollywood?
Well, I'll tell you this. Whenever you see these people come under this scrutiny and you don't see anybody come out to defend them, that lets you know how much power he has. Because if none of his friends are willing to say, hey, he's a good guy, what does that mean? That means he knows things about me. I'm not saying anything. I don't want my name brought up at all because everybody will be at his parties. Everybody. And like the first part of the party is normal. It's like going down on Woodville. It's normal. But the second part, when they come out collecting the cell phones and one of the security guys sign right here, that's when things start to get crazy because he'll be in a different part of the building after a while. And I almost just said something. I don't want to put him out there. But it's a lot of stars who you wouldn't suspect sitting on his lap. I'll tell you that much. Facts.
But then you said you don't pay 30 million to Cassie if you're innocent, right? So why would Cassie take the money? Because I've seen she's advocating for these rights. Why would she take the money if she knew the money is coming from a dirty man?
Here's the thing. When a lady is coming up in that industry, they told they so beautiful and all this type of stuff. They want the most powerful guy with the most everything. And then this is something called a trauma bond. Trauma bonds are real. You ever seen a couple where a guy is beating her up all the time, but they never break up?
Yeah.
That's a trauma bond. It's the same thing. I see it all the time in my line of work. So at the end of the day, she's off drugs every day, off alcohol every day. She in love with this dude. Once you open up that can of worms, she woke up one day and realized, like, damn, you know, I just sold all of my humanity.
Yeah.
And the only way to try to regain that is financial compensation. And I'm sure people start telling, like, look, stuff you was doing, you don't got no millions. She didn't have it. She got it now, though. And I'm cool with that. Facts. If somebody was urinating on you because of your husband asked them to, you supposed to get paid something.
Yep.
For sure. There's no way around that.
But do you think this evil trickles down to the children? Because Diddy has sons. So what's the effect of his behavior towards his sons?
His sons is just like him. So many females call me saying, oh, his son got charges. He like the one with the lip gloss on and the waves. He like to fondle females all the time. If I didn't have this case going on, so look, after this, I'll come back.
Good. I'm cool.
Yeah. After this case, once this case is over, I'm gonna really give you some. But I don't wanna
go deeper.
Yeah.
Do you receive any threats?
Every day. I'll be trying to get them to come meet up with me so we can just get it going, but they don't want to meet up. They don't want to meet up with me. That's crazy. I get threats every day though. Yeah. But it's always been like that.
Yeah.
Because I am a gangster where I'm from. So you know, like, it is what it is.
Ever did something you're not proud of?
Yeah, giving some people a pass. Yeah, I'm not proud about that. I shouldn't have gave a few people a pass. But I've never harmed anybody who didn't deserve it. You know, I'm not no coward. I'm a man of honor and principles. You know. But can't win them all.
Hey, do you think Diddy would love to see you dead?
Hell yeah. Because there's other stuff that's been happened that I've done to some of him and his people. There's certain things that have happened. And, you know, I'm winning right now. I'm in the lead right now. I know they want to get some give back for some stuff, but...
Like what? What have you done? Just give us something.
So, in the paperwork, it say I was shooting at somebody, right?
Yes.
Right. I'll leave it at that.
They can connect the dots.
Yeah, they can put the dots together.
.cc.
Yes, sir. For sure.
Yes, but I appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
So you're not gonna leave Kenya? You feel safe here?
Oh yeah, I'm staying here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if do you have fears they might win a case against you and get you extradited?
Oh no, I can't. No. It's impossible. I wasn't even there that day. I wasn't even no. I mean, no. That case ain't no concern to me.
Yes.
Because they tried to file this case last year, and then that same law firm was trying to pay me $5,000 US for an interview, but I turned it down, and then this case come. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
They thought I didn't have money to fight the case, which I don't know how they could think that. But yeah, that case is almost done. As soon as it's done, I'm calling. I'm gonna call EJ. We can line it back up.
Yes. But I love that people are speaking about Hollywood and some of the dark things that happen there. Do you see any hope? Do you see any future in people, just being self-aware?
Oh, yeah. So, shout out Mel Gibson.
Yes.
You feel me? Shout out my partners, Maverick Approach, Devon True. And I'm going to say this. Everybody need to watch Reid Hoffman.
Yes.
Pay attention to how he moves. Watch Bill Gates. And watch what Donald Trump got going on. The Epstein files didn't come out for a reason. I know how this game goes. Everybody is going to have to bow down to what Trump wants to do. That's going to leave a lot of people asked out and excommunicated out. So just those names I listed, look into those names, watch everything I just said, and just pay close attention. You're going to see.
So you still believe the file is there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen it.
Me too. You seen it? Whose name is that?
I just named a few names right there that's on there.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know, you just said something I haven't thought of it. They're gonna have to bow down to what Trump wants to do.
Yeah.
Man, which kind of world are we living in?
We living in a world.
Imagine making $453,000 in a single month as an affiliate marketer without relying on Google, Facebook, or ClickBank, or creating.
This world is a stage, and it's theater taking place in front of us all. We have to be able to read between the lines and look through the smoke and mirrors. So that's how you find truth.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, let's talk about it, honey. It's a lot going on in this world, is all I'm saying. So let's watch this video.
Because I didn't expect to make it past 20.
Now, tributes are pouring in for South African rapper Ricky Makado died this morning in Johannesburg.
When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts.
You remember when Cat Williams said that rappers don't just die, they either get eliminated or pushed to the edge, and the people up top make money off it? Yeah, that sounded wild back then. But looking at what happened to this South African rapper Ricky Rick, it doesn't feel so crazy anymore. And his story is just so messed up. Ricky Rick was one of the biggest artists in South Africa. Talented, smart, outspoken, business-minded, and proud to be Black in every sense. But then Ricky allegedly took his own life in his studio. Now, Ricky's family never confirmed or denied that his death was self-inflicted, but Ricky previously talked about struggling with the pressures he faced in the music industry. Now, I'm not here to say that I've got all the answers, but what I am saying is this: every time a rapper dies, the story gets wrapped up quick. But this story just proves that Cat Williams wasn't lying after all.
See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations.
Quick PSA, before we really get into this, keep in mind that this story is kind of intense. If that's something you're struggling with, please take care of yourself first and reach out to someone you trust. Ricky, whose real name is Ricardo Makado, came out of KwaMashu, South Africa. He built his name off of pure originality. Fashion, music, energy, everything about him was different and unique. And he didn't wait for validation from the big labels. Instead, he spoke to the kids and wanted to inspire the younger generations to pursue their dreams, no matter how hopeless their situation was.
Whatever you were going through, whatever you've been through, it's all about starting a new journey and starting that on your best foot, you know. So I just think about the kid who's sitting somewhere in Tanzania that doesn't have any hope of to be anything. For them to see a Black guy with a beard, and tattoos, and his face is on a Vaseline, what does that do for that kid, you know? For him, nothing is impossible. Kids also, they can get motivated to get involved with their dreams, and the dream leads you to where the money is.
If you're looking for top-tier cleared talent without the hassle, look no further than Clearance Jobs career events and tap into the largest security-cleared talent.
Ricky also wasn't your typical rapper, glorifying street life and getting revenge on the ops. Instead, he advocated for positivity and helping others, and that is where the issues started.
No, even if people rock you, you know, I've got a philosophy like, if people rock you, just teach yourself how to let it go, you know. Don't ever hold those feelings and keep those feelings with you, because most likely they're not keeping the feelings that, oh, I rock this guy.
Yeah.
You've always got to try and let them go, and you try to forgive people as much as possible, as long as they didn't, you know, hurt your health or didn't hurt your family. You know, people always make, you know, bad decisions by you, and people always do wrong by you. But if you can let that go as soon as it happens, let that go, because there's so many more people to help. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you get emails every single day about people sending you music, people sending you their content. There's so many people to help. And if you have that sort of like that black heart because of bad experiences, it'll stop that energy that you give. Exactly. And people see the energy that you guys give.
After his 2015 album Family Values went platinum, Ricky started his own imprint, Cotton Club Records, and signed a licensing deal with Sony Music Entertainment Africa. Ricky felt passionate about using his label to put other artists on, but you know that's the kind of move the industry doesn't like, when artists start empowering others instead of feeding the machine. And Ricky spoke openly about mental health, politics, and being a black man trying to move differently in a system that profits off pain.
Shout out to all the kids who came through. That's my little homie right there, man. Yeah, what up, baby? You good? All right, come and show you something. This is just to show the kids that they can do this thing themselves, bro. Like, I don't have, dog, people think I have $1 million. I don't have $1 million. I'm just doing this out of my spirit, out of like trying to design, trying to make dope shit, so people don't have to go to Mr. Price.
Ricky really tried to teach younger people that they don't need to chase clout to be successful. They just need to learn to love themselves for who they are. But if young people loved themselves, how could all these corporations profit from their insecurities and sell them stuff they don't need?
Instagram is like an advert for the life you don't live, you know? So if that seeps into your head, like, for long enough, you're gonna have no confidence, you know? Yeah. So you really gotta teach yourself to be happy with who you are.
People often compared Ricky to Tupac, and he himself talked about how he felt he would die young, just like Pac, especially after he started having those dark thoughts.
In some twisted way, maybe there will be some people who will relate with me out there. I always said my first album will be my last album, because I didn't expect to make it past 25. For me, I wanted to go out young, like Tupac. I wanted to die young like Tupac. I wanted to die like a Kurt Cobain. Suicidal thoughts is not anything new to me. I know how to even take it further. I know how to take it further. I've been there. I've been to that dark place.
Sadly, Ricky Rick was right. On February 23rd, 2022, Ricky was found dead in his studio in Johannesburg. He was just 34 years old. He left behind his wife of almost 10 years, Bianca, and their 2 young children. Ricky's cause of death was reported as self-inflicted, but the family statement did not explicitly confirm that. But here's another side of the story. Many of Ricky's fans felt there was something suspicious about his death. And while it's true that Ricky struggled with mental health, some folks speculated that he was pushed to the edge by shady figures in the music industry, especially after he signed that deal with Sony. And this is where Cat Williams' warning comes in. Cat's been saying for a long time that the entertainment industry isn't just about music or comedy. It's a machine, and that machine knows how to squeeze every drop of money out of you, even after you're gone. In one of his interviews, Cat explained how rappers don't just die. They get set up, silenced, or pushed to self-destruct. And when they do, the people who own their contracts cash out. No more arguments, no more missed shows, no more independence, just profit.
Let me show you how I turned $2,000 into $30,000 using tax lien real estate investing. This is the type of...
What I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Cat says when you're dealing with an industry driven purely by profit and exploitation, nothing's left to random chance. Even things that seem random are planned and orchestrated in advance to look that way.
I believe that. Somebody benefit. So in all of these situations, there's a business involved and there's real money involved, and somebody's benefiting from this thing that looks like, oh, that just happened. Nah. No way.
Now, people love to dismiss Cat and accuse him of being a conspiracy theorist. But think about it. How many times have we seen the same story play out? A rising artist, usually young, usually black, dies suddenly. The streams go up, the merch sells out, and the label walks away richer than ever. So when Ricky Rick passed and that old Cat clip started circulating again, people couldn't ignore the pattern. Cat said the quiet part out loud. There's money in tragedy. And for artists who speak out or try to own their work, that truth gets even darker. See, See, when an artist signs to a major label, that contract isn't just about albums and tours. There's fine print. Stuff about royalties, masters, life insurance policies, and what they can sing or rap about, and recoupment. Basically, the label invests money in the artist. But if the artist dies, they don't lose. They collect. And Ricky Rick knew this. In fact, he publicly spoke out against big labels and shady executives and encouraged up-and-coming artists to be independent.
Thought I would be more excited to get this. If you know my raps, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Shout out to all the kids that never get on radio, that can't get their song played on radio because they don't have enough money. Shout out to all the kids who put out music videos that never get their music videos played on TV because they don't have the money. There's a lot of people that struggle to put music out in this country, and I feel like there's too many structures that are blocking people from putting out the dopest music. 90% of the shit I hear on radio is garbage. The stuff is living on the internet. Everything is living on the internet right now. So if you're a kid and you're watching this right now, forget radio. If they don't let you play on radio, you better go to the internet and make your songs pop on the internet.
But here's the ugly truth. A dead artist can be more profitable than a living one. Streams skyrocket. Old songs chart again. Merch sells out. The legacy conversation kicks in. Documentaries, tribute concerts, posthumous albums. Every one of those things makes money for the label, not the family. And we've seen it happen so many times before. With Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston. Hell, they're still making money off Michael Jackson. And just like Cat Williams said, when that happens, the label doesn't have to deal with contract disputes, creative control, or artists demanding ownership of their masters. The deal ends, the estate gets a percentage, and the machine keeps moving. And that's why some people say the industry doesn't literally eliminate artists, although I'm pretty sure that happens sometimes. Instead, it destroys their spirit with pressure. Burnout, mental breakdowns, toxic contracts, fake friends, partying, substances, depression, it's all part of the same cycle. And Ricky Rick talked about it. He spoke about depression, about trying to find peace in an industry that only cares about the product, not the person. So if Cat Williams was right, if the industry is designed to break people down and cash out when they fall, then Ricky's story fits the pattern a little too well. He was already too good for the cutthroat music business. He felt too deeply and cared too much. And maybe that's why he didn't stand a chance. The industry doesn't reward empathy. And the moment an artist starts speaking truth instead of selling fantasy, the clock starts ticking. So at what point do we stop calling it a coincidence? How many artists have to die before we admit that the system might actually be built to destroy them? Now, to be clear, I'm not saying there's proof of foul play in Ricky Rick's case, but I am saying there's a pattern. Just like Kat said, every time an artist dies, somebody profits. Well, let me know what you think. Is it a coincidence or design? Was Cat Williams right all along? Are labels really waiting for artists to break so they can cash in? Leave your thoughts in the comments.
If you're over 50 and you're not dermaplaning, you're making a big mistake. You can get rid of fine lines and wrinkles.
He really had to wrestle with the idea that he's in an industry where not only can that happen, but it had happened to him.
Artists be too scared to stand up for something. They scared to lose their fucking house. Or they scared to lose their record deal. I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal.
That Clyde Dates and Peter Edge wanted to do was say, okay, look, we don't want to date you. I'm like, I'm still young. What are you talking about? But we don't want to talk about all that stuff in Sugar Hill. So they kind of gag ordered me not to talk about.
D'Angelo's death is hitting the music world hard. But if you look closer at his story, there's a darker side to what happened. One that Kanye West has been hinting at for years. Because here's the thing, D'Angelo didn't just disappear from the spotlight for no reason. His career was derailed and sacrificed. He disappeared for over a decade between Voodoo and Black Messiah, dealing with personal struggles, public pressure, and well, let's just say some very shady industry forces.
D'Angelo's manager would go behind his back and work out a secret deal with Clive Davis. The manager, knowing the history between Angie and D'Angelo, He didn't want them on the same label. So he made a deal with Clive saying that if D'Angelo comes, she needs to leave.
Now, Kanye has talked about the rituals, the humiliation, the so-called sacrifices that happen behind closed doors in the music business. And while D'Angelo wasn't literally sacrificed, some believe the industry sabotaged him for refusing to play by its rules. And the story gets even shadier once you realize that D'Angelo's former partner, Angie Stone, started exposing all this and even named names right before she died earlier this year in a bizarre car crash.
At the end of the day, after 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties.
D'Angelo burst onto the scene in the mid-90s with Brown Sugar, and he changed the landscape of soul music forever. He wasn't just another R&B singer. He brought the 70s soul vibes into the 90s in a way nobody else was doing. Then came Voodoo in 2000, and everyone was obsessed. By this point, it was clear that D'Angelo was one of the most talented musicians of his generation. And you know what made it even more impressive? D'Angelo did it on his own terms. He played most of the instruments himself, poured his heart into every note, and refused to just put out hits the industry wanted.
Some people do want to put you on that pedestal, like you are the spokesperson for all Black people. They're depending on you, and they're counting on you. It's enough just navigating and coping through the change in your life that happens when you become a celebrity or somebody that is, quote unquote, famous. Just that within itself is a huge paradigm shift.
But that authenticity was also what put D'Angelo at odds with the system. The music industry doesn't really reward people who don't compromise. They want control. They want artists who will follow the formula. Flashy parties, the sexy songs, the image management. And D'Angelo wasn't about that. He was deeply religious, spiritual even, and he wanted his music to reflect that. And that's when the trouble began. So we've all heard about people like Diddy, and others who throw these industry parties, make deals, and expect artists to join the inner circle. Well, allegedly, they wanted D'Angelo in their club badly, but he refused. He did not want to play the game. He didn't want to compromise his beliefs. Even Angie Stone hinted at this in one of her latest interviews and said that years after their breakup, she found out some shady stuff about what D'Angelo was allegedly pressured to do.
Of course, D'Angelo and I were very good friends. But I need for you to know that as wonderful as that friendship has been, it came with a lot of challenges. And I'll tell you the nature of the industry based on a secret that I recently found out from someone who is credible. That let me in on some things that I didn't know even up until lately. And I have to tell you, it was shocking just to find out. But in any event, I will share them with you and let you know the devil don't play fair. No, this is not Angie Stone's life story, but what it is.
Now, we don't know if D'Angelo got pulled into that freaky world or if he shut it down before they could get to him. But we do know that during that time, he spiraled. Substance use, weight gain, arrests. People saw the fallout, but most never connected it to the pressure D'Angelo was under. And it wasn't just personal struggles. It was systemic. Some insiders have hinted that executives tried to lure him into situations where he'd have to compromise. Think Diddy's parties and high-profile collaborations that weren't about music, but about control. And this is what people mean when they talk about industry sacrifices. The industry doesn't need to take someone out physically. They can drain you, humiliate you, and erase you from the spotlight if you don't comply. And that's what Kanye has been warning for years, and naming celebs who were put through this. The rituals, the punishments for voicing your opinion, the way they make an example out of artists who refuse to fall in line. D'Angelo walked into the industry with revolutionary talent and came out changed. It was obvious that something had happened behind the scenes that made him not want to be a part of that world. And then when you think about what Angie Stone went through, it gets even darker. Because just when Angie finally started naming people who wronged her and stole from her, she died in that strange car accident. Angie had been speaking out against the industry in the months and weeks leading up to her death, specifically calling out and Universal Music Group.
After 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, but they have taken.
You know what I can't understand is why people can't say Clive Davis in videos. I don't know if their videos get struck, if what is going on, but I've noticed in a lot of the videos that I review is they can't say Clive Davis or Jeffrey Epstein and things like that. I don't understand that. I'm not sure if they lose money. I don't get it. But anyway.
All the monies that were due to me, they have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I'm truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people.
Angie refused to stay silent, and suddenly she was gone, just 7 months before D'Angelo passed. So when you connect D'Angelo's struggles with Angie Stone's warnings and untimely death, you start to see a pattern. The industry takes advantage of artists, especially Black artists, and pressures them to compromise their values so they're easier to control. And when they refuse, they derail their career, blacklist them, or worse. D'Angelo was deeply religious and wanted his music to reflect his faith and personal beliefs.
When I first heard your music, the first thing I said was, this nigga had been in a black church somewhere, and then a Pentecostal church somewhere.
That's right.
And so I was not at all surprised to find out when you hit that groove where you had come from. But just talk about that experience.
It totally informs everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
When I go out on the stage, I bring that with me. It's the thing about everyone has their own way of reaching that place. But my way has always been that. Because I feel like when I come on the stage with that authority from that source, there's nothing that can touch that. And a lot of times before we go out on stage, pretty much every time, we pray. Me and the Vanguard, we pray. And before we start a prayer, I sing an old spiritual song from way back in the woods, you know.
You're singing this in your prayer circle?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we start off with a song and get in the spirit. Then we pray. Then we go out there.
Put you on the spot.
But the industry had other plans for D'Angelo. They wanted hits, image, and sexualized content, not a man singing about Jesus or staying true to his heart.
All the women went crazy, wanting to touch and feel on him and pull at his stuff. They will pull his shirt so hard that it would choke him. So we decided we would put slits in the back of his t-shirts. So when they pull it, it'll just come off easily and not choke him to death.
Now, remember how Kanye said that artists literally have to sign contracts where it says they're not allowed to sing or rap about Jesus or anything spiritual? Well, allegedly, they asked D'Angelo to sign one of those contracts.
Literally signing a contract and selling our souls. They got contracts out there that say you can't say Jesus. When we was working on this album, people used to be coming over the studio just to say Jesus as loud as they wanted to. You can say Jesus in your studio.
There's a part in a Rock Nation contract that says that people are not allowed to sing about Christ. I'll be wondering, I'll be like, yo, God, why? Why have you swung my sword?
Yeah.
Why?
Wow. Because you came in the game with Jesus Walsh.
Like, why? There's a part.
Now, when people hear Illuminati in the music world, they think secret societies and literal sacrifices. But in reality, it's often just a metaphor for the invisible power structure controlling the industry, the executives, managers, and contracts that dictate what artists can say, how they look, and even what they can sing about. And D'Angelo's story fits perfectly into that framework. High-pressure parties, exclusive circles, and contracts demanding compliance. This is all part of the industry's rituals. Refuse to play along, and you face isolation, humiliation, or career derailment. At the end of the day, D'Angelo wasn't just a talented musician. He was a man trying to navigate an industry that punishes integrity. For decades, he resisted the system, and the price he paid was high. Blackballing, long hiatus, public scrutiny, and rumors of pressure behind the scenes. And when you combine that with Angie Stone's warnings, her sudden death, and Kanye's revelations about industry rituals, it's clear that this industry is way darker than what most people imagine. It's not about literal sacrifices, but about the symbolic ones that the industry demands from those who won't compromise. Creative freedom, mental peace, career momentum, all of that can be stripped away if you refuse to join the club. And yet, D'Angelo leaves a legacy that can't be erased. His music, from Brown Sugar to Black Messiah, continues to inspire and influence. As one fan put it on X, D'Angelo dropped Brown Sugar, then had writer's block for years. Then came Voodoo, went through so many personal struggles for over a decade after. Then came Black Messiah. His life and work are a testament that the best and most beautiful creations are still possible after seasons of difficulty. Thank you for these lessons, D'Angelo. But D'Angelo's story also serves as a warning. In the music world, talent alone isn't enough. Stand your ground and you might pay the price, even if it takes decades for the cause to fully show. The industry is brutal, and even the most talented, spiritual, and uncompromising artists can pay a heavy price for standing their ground. Well, now I want to hear your thoughts on all this. Were D'Angelo's career struggles just bad luck, or part of a larger pattern of sacrifices in the industry? And with Angie Stone,
what do y'all think about this? Craziness, right? Child. Let's see what else Culture Covered has for us to look at today.
These look like regular glasses, but what they do is on another level. Don't risk straining your eyes or wasting money on.
You want to know why I'm not having an aneurysm over people losing their food stamps on November 1st? Here's why.
Come grocery shop because it go by faster. I should not have to pay to feed you and your 9 children. I'll be the selfish one. My kid comes first in my eyes, not you.
I would take a third job. I have 2 jobs. I would take a third job if I had to, just to make sure my kids ate. What are you doing for your kids besides coming on the internet and bitching that you don't have?
And coming for black women, though. You just make yourself look stupid. She got SNAP, EBT, and a degree, huh?
All right, y'all. So Cat Williams is trending again. And this time, it's not for exposing the industry or roasting another comedian. Instead, he's clapping back at white Karens who are out here celebrating that black women are losing food stamps. Ever since news broke that Trump is cutting federal food aid, social media has been flooded with videos of Karens saying things like, good, get a job, and I don't want to pay for your kids. And they almost always pair it with a video of a black woman talking about food stamps.
I don't want to see nobody on here complaining about food stamps that was posting beach pictures and new tattoos all summer, okay? Thank you.
But here's the truth about food aid benefits that these Karens don't understand. First of all, most recipients of SNAP are white. And beyond that, food insecurity doesn't just affect people receiving SNAP. It's a nationwide problem. SNAP helps millions of Americans across racial and economic lines, including seniors, children, disabled people, veterans, and working families who simply don't make enough to cover groceries and rent. So let's break down what's really happening and why Black families are again being demonized and why Cat Williams is going off.
1 in 8 Americans rely on SNAP benefits, and tonight there is mounting worry for them. They might not be able to afford food with money running out 1 week from today.
All right, so here's the situation. Starting in November 2025, millions of Americans will lose their SNAP benefits, the program that most people call food stamps. Why? Well, because the federal government is still in a shutdown and Congress hasn't approved funding for SNAP. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture claims they cannot legally issue benefits for November without congressional approval. Except that's not true. What the Republicans are not telling you is that they could legally use emergency funds for SNAP even during a shutdown. They're just choosing not to. In fact, USDA's official shutdown plan says it.
You know, it's a trip. Is that people get all up in arms. Some people, not all people, obviously. They get up in arms about, oh my God, I don't want to have to pay for your child's food. I don't want to have to pay for your food. First of all, you should take pause with anyone who has a problem with children being fed. That's issue number one. If you don't have a heart for children being fed, you're evil. Pure point blank, full stop. It just is what it is. I said what I said. It ain't changing over here. It's Chanel's reality. Okay. So it ain't changing over here. That's number one. And then number two, my husband and I, we don't have no children, right? We live in a house in the suburbs and we pay property taxes, which pays for the children to eat free lunch, the teachers, the principal, the building, the janitors, all of the things, all the staff. We pay for this. I ain't got one job nowhere. Neither does my husband. So I'm trying to understand why I'm not sitting on the internet whining about these people who need food stamps or need, food assistance or whatever the case may be. That's number two. And then number three is just because you have a job, and you could have two jobs and still be underemployed. Be very clear. But again, 1, 2, 3, circle back to number one. If you have a problem with feeding children who need food, you're evil. And it is what it is, and I ain't changing it. I'm standing on business, as the people from the hood say. Standing on business. No, I'm playing. But yeah, it's beyond annoying and childish. It's just like, well, how old are you? You on the internet making videos talking about you don't care about people's kids? That does not make you seem like a sane person. It does not make you seem like again, you're a psychopath. Psychopaths don't have the ability to have empathy. All they can think about is themselves. And also too, you can't try to, structure other people's lives and what you think they should be doing with their life based on what you do with your life. What you do with you and your life is good for you and your people. And I support that. As long as it's not hurting anybody and it's not illegal, do whatever the hell you want with your kids. Okay? Again, as long as it's not hurting them or anyone else, and it is not illegal, do what the fuck you want. If people did that more often, we wouldn't even be having these problems. Mind your business. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, you got to pay close attention to people who openly and happily say they want, they don't care about what happens to other people. You have to pay close attention to those type of people. And last thing, these people that are like haranguing and high-fiving Donald Trump over there, shredding the Constitution like it's confetti, and doing whatever it is. It's interesting to me that they could high-five this man to make things that are illegal legal just by writing an executive order. He can go and do whatever he wants in the name of the white people and whatever the crazies are in the world that those people want, just by making an executive order. But you can't write an executive order to make sure people are fed. You can write out kind of orders to go and send hundreds of millions of dollars to other countries, which I ain't shading that either. But I just don't understand how you can do that, but then sit in this country and say, well, I ain't feeding these children because I don't like their parents. I don't like their skin tone. I don't like where they're from. Like, it's beyond. But again, pay close attention to people who don't want to feed children. Just saying.
It is guaranteed that benefits funds are available for program operations, even in the event of a government shutdown. But let's talk about what this actually means for people in the real world, because those in Congress are not going to be the ones going hungry this holiday season, whether they're Democrat or Republican. So SNAP supports 42 million Americans, which is about 1 in 8 people in the country. And most people who receive SNAP are children.
Why don't these people on SNAP just work? I don't understand. My guy, most of the people who are on SNAP are children. According to 2023 fiscal analysis, it made up 39% of the people on SNAP. That's 12 million children.
And then another thing that a lot of people don't understand is that food insecurity isn't just a personal problem. It's a national crisis that affects everyone, even if you personally don't receive SNAP. When millions of Americans can't access enough food, it doesn't just hurt the families going hungry. It hits the entire economy. Children who skip meals struggle in school, which affects future workforce productivity. Adults who can't afford proper nutrition are more likely to get sick, increasing healthcare costs for everyone. Local businesses lose revenue when people can't spend on groceries, so they're forced to raise prices. Meanwhile, food banks struggle to fill the gaps. And it's not like we don't have resources to solve this issue. 47.4 million Americans, including 13.8 million children, are food insecure. Meanwhile, 902 American billionaires are now worth $6.8 trillion combined. So this isn't an issue of resources. It's the ever-expanding wealth inequality.
The U.S. is one of the wealthiest nations in the world. It ranks first based on total GDP and 7th based on GDP per capita. Yet when it comes to food security, America ranks 22nd among developed countries. 33.8 million Americans didn't have adequate access to food, according to the latest report from the USDA. That's 13.5 million, or 10.2% of all U.S. households in 2021.
I literally stand on 2nd Avenue at 4 o'clock in the morning and go around behind the restaurants and wait for the bakeries to deliver bread. When you're that hungry to steal bread from the restaurants behind the stores, you're hungry.
And again, SNAP serves a racially and economically diverse population. In fact, according to the Food Research and Action Center, about 37% of SNAP recipients are white, 26% are Black, and the rest are Hispanic, Asian, Native American, or multiracial.
This isn't a filter, it's not a trick, and it's also not my real hair.
I think when I first started losing my hair, it was kind of devastating actually, because I always really liked my hair.
But when you see those fake videos of someone complaining about not getting SNAP, 9 times out of 10, it's an AI Black woman, because they know you'll believe it and get angry.
They cutting our food stamps off next week. And that's the only way I've been able to keep the kids fed and the lights on. Y'all see that sign behind me? If they really take it, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do but go in there and grab what we need. People keep telling me to go apply something.
So what we just saw was an example of an AI video that's going viral right now. And there are millions of others just like that. This is why the social media reactions are getting so toxic. You have white Karens out here celebrating that Black women are losing food stamps while completely ignoring the fact that most recipients are poor whites. One woman on TikTok went viral after posting this ignorant video about food stamps. And people were chewing her up in the comments so bad that she deleted it in the end.
This message is for all the people that are complaining that they're not getting their food stamps for November. What did you do with October's food stamp money? What'd you do? Did you stock up on pantry items and try to shop smartly? Or did you just go buy a bunch of processed garbage? By the way, you can thank the Democrats for the government being shut down and your benefits not coming through for November. Looks like you're going to be going to the food pantry for your Thanksgiving meal. I know a lot of food pantries hand out turkeys for Thanksgiving. All the sides and trimmings too. Lots of food pantries. You better figure it out. I'm sick of hearing you complain, honestly. You ever have this as a meal? I'm eating peanut butter and butter on toast. It's absolutely delicious. You should try it. And not for nothing, I saw this woman that said she was getting $1,100 a month in food stamps. Do you know how long I could make $1,100 in food stamps last in this house? There's 2 of us, but I do have my son over every once in a while, or my daughters over once in a while to eat. I feed them too, and we always got food in our house, no matter what. I would take a 3rd job. I have 2 jobs. I would take a third job if I had to, just to make sure my kids ate. What are you doing for your kids besides coming on the internet and bitching that you don't have any money in your food stamps account?
Well, I don't know, Sarah Meth. Perhaps they spent October's food stamps in October? Like, what the George Bush, you will pay for your crimes because these children should have been left behind. But unfortunately, they weren't. And now they're adults with access to the internet and total use of free will. I'm going to start calling this the J-Lo theory. Whenever you give people full unmonitored access to something, whether it be a mic, a phone, social media, whatever it is, and total use of free will, they will use that thing regardless of if it sounds good or if it makes a lick of sense. This is what Trump means when he says smart people don't like me, because what do you mean she made this video in regard to November food stamps, asking what people did with their October food stamps? If Johnny had 5 apples.
Now, the good side of social media is that there are a lot of people like journalist Torre who are trying to educate others that food aid getting cut is going to affect absolutely everyone, whether they receive SNAP or not.
Oh, government assistance that brings out the racism in people. Most SNAP recipients are white women. She loves to give the white working class a sense of superiority over Black people. Every dollar spent in the SNAP program leads to $1.50 returning to the economy. It also creates consumers out of people who, that helps everybody who works in the store, everybody who delivers to that store, everybody who relies on that store. Because if you subtract a significant portion of that store's consumers, a significant portion of the consumers to the economy who happen to be working class people who are getting their money from SNAP, then the store will have to raise its prices. If you remove a bunch of consumers, the store will have to raise its prices. And that will make life harder for you, white lady. I know you think that Black woman is just taking from you, but what she is inadvertently doing.
D.O. Hughley also went off on MAGA folks for spreading misinformation and posting ignorant videos claiming that food benefits getting cut will only affect Black people.
So it isn't just hurting the people you want. More of you, more of his supporters, more people that wanted him to win, more people that are supportive of him will be hurt than other people. That word disproportionately ain't gonna matter when you're freezing and cold. As a matter of fact, if the heating subsidies are not renewed, and if SNAP benefits out there around Thanksgiving, there won't have been this many cold and hungry white people since the Pilgrims landed here. Since Plymouth Rock. And this time, ain't gonna be no Indians to bail you out.
And then there's Cat Williams. He clapped back at Karens who were mocking Black women for using food stamps. And while he had to sneak a little joke in there, Cat reminded everyone that Black women are not the ones who will suffer the most when food aid gets cut.
And coming for Black women, no. You just make yourself look stupid. The Black woman is the most educated person in the United States of America. By 27%, bitch. She got SNAP, EBT, and a degree, huh?
Right. That part.
These are not just the nurse pens. Anyone who appreciates a good pen that writes super smooth and has quick drying ink will want to give these.
Also, isn't it weird that when talking about issues like this, all these new channels always interview Black people? This whole conversation around food stamps is just another example of what happens when racism takes hold. It convinces people to see enemies where there are allies. And that's how they end up voting against their own best interests. And of course, this is all by design. They know exactly what they're doing by posting those AI videos of Black women complaining about food stamps. To give you another example, conservative lawyer Mike Davis, who was rumored to be one of Trump's candidates for Attorney General, literally tweeted this the other day. Quote, "We should only help people who can't help themselves. It's outrageous 40 million people get food stamps. Get off your fat ghetto ass. Get a job. Stop reproducing. Change your culture. Stop giving food stamps to immigrants. We don't want you here if you won't work." End quote. So, who do you think he's talking about? The term fat ghetto ass? That's pretty interesting. Change your culture? What culture is he referring to exactly? Well, we all know the answers to those questions. See, they love to throw in the word immigrant, but make no mistake, he's talking about American citizens. And the stop reproducing part, I bet you he identifies as pro-life too. You really can't make this up. Anyways, y'all, to wrap it up, I'll leave you with this post from an ex-user who wrote, quote, "Let November roll around and those poor white people don't get a SNAP check, and we'll find out how hungry you have to be to stop being racist." End quote. Well, let me know what you think about all this. Do you think there's a deep
I love it. I love it. You know, that's all I'm saying is that I just love a real one. People don't like the facts. Let's see. What else do I want to review today? David Chappelle.
These are our people. These are our countrymen. If I were white and saw one of these men get murdered, and I was in the NRA, why wouldn't I stand up for them? A card-carrying legal gun owner that gets murdered in cold blood because he's black. That's why they don't give a f.
Later, a group of adult white men burst into this family's home and snatched a 14-year-old boy out of bed in front of his family that was powerless to stop them, and he was never seen alive again. His name was Emmett Till.
Yep. If you could solve a black American's problems, this country would have no problems. He's so busy talking about pronouns and this, that, and the other, but this is a very basic wrong. They kidnapped us. They brought us here. They treated us like, and all the time that they did that, they were afraid that we would do what you would do in the same situation.
Dave Chappelle just said something that hit way too close to home. He said, America doesn't hate loud black men. It hates smart black men. The ones who know how the system works, who try to get on the better side, and who aren't afraid to call it like it is. And honestly, he's right. Look around. Every time a black man gets too sharp, too aware, too unbothered by the system, they start getting labeled crazy, problematic, dangerous. Same old playbook.
The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive.
Yep.
I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
And now that we've got Trump literally trying to erase pieces of enslavement history, like that order to remove the scourged back photo from a national exhibit, Dave's comments are more relevant than ever.
On the president's orders, a photograph of a beaten slave is being removed from all national parks, including Harper's Ferry National Historic Park.
Called the scourged back, and it's also known as whipped Peter.
And this is what Dave's been warning us about for years. Remember, this man walked away from $50 million because he refused to let Hollywood control his voice. They called him insane for it, and he literally had to escape to Africa to save his life. But today, we finally know the truth. Dave Chappelle was never crazy, and America keeps silencing smart black men, and how what's happening right now, from Trump erasing black to cancel culture backlash, it's all a part of the exact same pattern Dave's been trying to expose since Chappelle's show.
What about people who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil?
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking?
So in case you missed that Trump move, it's not just random politics, it's symbolic. Trump ordered the National Park Service to remove the scourged back photograph, one of the most haunting, powerful images ever taken of American enslavement. That photo is history. You can't unsee it once you've seen it. It forces you to face what America really did.
This image, the scourged back, was printed and distributed across the entire country, becoming one of the most powerful anti-slavery weapons of the Civil War. Called him whipped Peter. It completely destroyed the narrative that the South was trying to push, that slavery was humane. And for thousands of Northerners who had never seen or experienced the pure brutality of slavery with their own eyes, this image made it all real.
So why remove it? Because the truth is uncomfortable. Because the image doesn't fit the story America wants to sell. That's the same reason the system keeps trying to sanitize or silence certain black voices. And that pattern is older than Trump. He's just the latest face of it. Every generation, there's a new way to rewrite the story. First, they told us slavery wasn't that bad. Then they told us MLK was just about peace, ignoring the fact that the government had him under surveillance 24/7. They told us Malcolm DMX was aggressive when all he did was defend self-respect. Same energy when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. It wasn't about the flag. It was all about control. America doesn't like reminders of its hypocrisy, especially when it comes from a calm, intelligent black man. When they tried to cancel Kaepernick and accuse him of disrespecting the flag, Dave pointed out the hypocrisy between Capitol rioters and how America treated Colin Kaepernick. He said that the same folks who lost their minds over Kaepernick kneeling during the anthem, calling him unpatriotic, disrespectful, telling him to shut up and play, were the ones storming the U.S. Capitol with American flags in hand, screaming about freedom, waving Confederate banners, and trying to beat police officers.
Watch the tapes. Watch that crowd that told Colin Kaepernick he can't kneel during a football game, try to beat a police officer to death with an American flag. Look at that shit. What was Edward Snowden talking about? Who is the terrorist now that they're looking for? It's you, not me, not my black Muslim ass. It's you. Who are they militarizing the police for? They didn't call the National Guard on my black ass. It's you. That's what white people did. They felt what black people have been feeling for 400 years. For 30 minutes, stormed the Capitol and rubbed their shit on the walls. They carried a fucking Confederate flag through the rotunda. The Confederate Army didn't even do that. Motherfuckers, you went very far.
But Dave didn't just call out white America for that hypocrisy. He also said that too many black folks turned their backs on Colin Kaepernick when he needed support the most. Instead of standing with him, some joined in calling him divisive or doing too much. And according to Dave, that's part of the sickness. That same mentality that punishes smart, conscious black men for stepping out of line. It's like we've been trained to shut down our own truth tellers before the system even has to. And when we do that, we're helping the same machine that's been silencing us for centuries.
That's why I want to start a GoFundMe for Colin Kaepernick. I do, man. I'm fascinated with him. I want to make sure he never has to play football again. He can if he wants to. I just don't want him to have to. Because why the fuck not? I know he's rich and people will be like, I'm not giving a GoFundMe to a rich dude, but you should. You should. Because that motherfucker's life was going great. He's so light-skinned, he didn't even have to say he was black. And yet, he took a knee during that anthem for us. Thought about us when things were going good, when his belly was full, when he didn't think about his livelihood or any of that, and they took his livelihood away from him. I'm like, man, that shouldn't be the way it is. Every fucking person that takes a stand for somebody else always gets beat down, and we watch it. Over and over and over again, we watch it. But we should pay those motherfuckers for blowing the whistle.
And that's exactly why Dave's voice matters. He makes America, white and black, look at itself, even when it's ugly. And what's crazy is that Dave's commentary is still as relevant as it was 20 years ago when Chappelle's show originally aired. Back then, it was Bush. Now it's Trump. But the playbook is exactly the same.
I thought she's my black brother. Why you ask me questions like that? Fine, I'll answer your stupid ass question. I feel like you guys keep trying to distract people when I'm focusing on other things, namely the moon. Yes, I said it, the moon. You win? You have a problem with that? You know what you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut the up. That's what I do if I don't have no army. I would shut the
and for his regime. The United States is ready, willing, and able, but hopefully this will not be necessary. That's what the United Nations is all about. That's what the United Nations is for.
Now, back then, people were laughing at Chappelle's show and loving every sketch. But Hollywood and those in power definitely noticed something else. Dave's show had teeth. It was truth-telling disguised as entertainment. Sketches like Black Bush and Clayton Bigsby weren't just funny skits. They exposed hypocrisy, called out politicians, and forced audiences to face uncomfortable truths about race, class, and power in America.
You never left this property, have you, Mr. Bigsby?
No, sir, not in many years.
What if I were to tell you that you are an African-American?
Sir, listen, I'm going to make this clear. I'm in no way, shape, or form involved in any negative. You understand?
And this is the kind of comedy that makes executives nervous because it can't be easily controlled. And that's exactly what happened when Hollywood tried to cash in with a $50 million deal. Most people would have jumped at the money. Hollywood definitely expected Dave to, but he refused. He walked away. But that's when the real pressure started. They labeled him crazy and even tried to force him to take antipsychotic medication.
So I got ahead of schedule and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah. Like I'm sitting around, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on. So this was troublesome.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know these people be trying to control you or maybe discredit you. I was afraid,
But you were stressed out. That's why.
There's no question. But it's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say, you're insane.
But Dave just wouldn't let the system dictate his voice. So walking away wasn't just about rejecting money. It was about rejecting control. And the fact that Dave had to leave the country and escape to Africa without even telling his family where he was going tells you he really feared for his safety. And he wasn't being paranoid either. Dave's been in the industry long enough to know that when a black man steps out of line and refuses to be silenced, the powers that be will do anything it takes to suppress his voice. Remember when Martin Lawrence ran out on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me"? Well, Dave saw that, and he knew that Martin wasn't crazy either. He was just pushed to the edge.
When we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows.
So once Dave returned from Africa, it was clear he wasn't just back to tell jokes. He was back to teach. And he did it the only way he knows how, through comedy that cuts deep. Whether it's calling out cancel culture, hypocrisy in media, or the way America treats its own citizens differently depending on skin color, Dave always used comedy as a form of truth-telling.
I have a question for the audience. And this is a real question. I'm not joking around. Is it possible that a gay person can be... Do you really think so? Of course it's possible. Look at Mike Pence. Who I'm guessing, but I bet you he's gay. And he's not Pride Parade gay either. He's sad gay. Feel bad for him. He looks like one of them gays that prays about it. Jesus, please take these dirty feelings out of my heart. Please, Jesus, make these buttholes ugly to me. I want to keep on tasting these. To be honest with you, I've been trying to repair my relationship with the transgender community because I don't want them to think that I don't like them. And you know how I've been repairing it? I wrote a play. I did, because I know that gays love plays. It's a very sad play, but it's moving. It's about a black transgender woman whose pronoun is sadly. It's a tearjerker. At the end of the play, she dies of loneliness because white liberals don't know how to speak to her. Sad. All of us. Do better next time. Do not forget your humanity, and please have empathy for displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or Palestine. Thank you very much, and good night.
With the new Netflix specials, for the first time, Dave wasn't beholden to networks, advertisers, or executives telling him what he could say. He had full creative control, which meant he could speak freely about race, politics, and culture.
I like working for Netflix because when all those bad things happen to me, That company didn't even exist. And when I found out they were streaming Chappelle's show, I was furious. How could they not know? So you know what I did? I called them and I told them that this makes me feel bad. And you want to know what they did? They agreed that they would take it off their platform just so I could feel better. That's why I fuck with Netflix, because they paid me my money, they do what they say they're gonna do, and they went above and beyond what you could expect from a businessman. They did something just because they thought that I might think that they were wrong. And I do.
But that new freedom they found at Netflix made some people uncomfortable. The media painted it as some kind of scandal, saying Dave had crossed a line. But if you watch carefully, you see the real issue wasn't just about a few jokes or his commentary on trans issues. It was that Dave refused to be told what to think, what to say, and how to say it.
I'm Team TERF. I agree, man. Gender is a fact. You have to look at it from a woman's perspective. Look at it like this. Caitlyn Jenner, whom I've met, wonderful person. Caitlyn Jenner was voted Woman of the Year. Her first year as a woman. Ain't that something? Beat every bitch in Detroit. She's better than all of you. Never even had a period. Ain't that something? Oh, I'd be mad as shit if I was a woman. I'd be mad if I was me. If I was in the BET Awards sitting there and they're like, and the winner for Nigger of the Year, Eminem, my man.
Just like Cat Williams said, the industry did everything in its power to destroy Dave and his legacy. But Dave didn't back down, he doubled down. He continued to shine a light on hypocrisy, injustice, and the ways society punishes Black men who speak truth.
Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood and everybody passed on him and said his show wasn't worth it. Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid. So we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are going to say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. He got on a flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so.
Fast forward to now and look at Dave and look at Kat. They both rose above all that industry mess. So the lesson here is be careful of the truth because it's often dismissed as crazy. Well, let me know your thoughts on Dave Chappelle and his role in exposing Hollywood. Do you think Dave is still the same Dave he was before he went to Africa? Is it even possible for a Black man to expose the gatekeepers and live to tell the tale? Leave all your comments.
Ciao. I'm going to leave it right here because I am tired. I think I'm going to take a nap. Might get up and cook some good old soul food. And, then might take another nap. Maybe watch a movie or two. But you guys have a happy Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Bye.